What's going on, everybody? It's me, it's your boy Dizzy, aka Devin. Just wanted to make a quick video and kind of go over my thoughts on the Houston Regional Qualifier for Riftbound from this past weekend. Overall, it was a great experience. I was really happy to meet a lot of my fellow Annie stands from the Discord and met a lot of great people from Riot, a lot of great players in general. Was really happy to get to finally put some faces to the names. Great time. So just to kind of dive into my thoughts here, mostly positive things to say. There are a few things that have been kind of on my mind that I wanted to talk about. We'll start with the main thing, which was huge congratulations to Diwali. I watched his gameplay, and when he was in, I think, top 32 or top 16, I was like, this guy is going to go to the finals minimum. Like, he was playing Annie like a boss. Absolutely incredible player, very talented. I didn't even know who he was because I'm not very big on Flesh and Blood. So I had no idea who he was actually until he won. And after watching his interview, seems like a very humble and very kind, great person, actually. Like, I get nothing but good vibes from him, from his posts and from his interviews. And yeah, I think that I couldn't give the first regional championship title to anybody better than this guy. He seems like he absolutely deserves it. So just wanted to give him a congratulations. I was checking some of his tweets, and it looks like he is very happy with his performance. Apparently he was only play testing Annie for a couple weeks before the regional, which to me is absolutely incredible. The talent is obviously carrying on from other games. Looks like Magic and Flesh and Blood. So these Flesh and Blood players are just a menace. Like, every time I hear that somebody plays Flesh and Blood, I'm like, oh great, this person's gonna be absolutely insane to deal with. But yeah, I think that there is gonna be a lot of tops from this gentleman right here in the future. Definitely want to avoid him in Swiss. That being said, congratulations, Diwali. You absolutely deserve the win. You played like a boss, and you played on the best deck. So what can we say? Well deserved. His list, just want to kind of go over it really quick and just give my thoughts on it. Obviously, it's the first place list, so he knew what he was doing, right? I mean, he's on the 3 scrap heap, he's on the 3 flash, he's on, everything looks pretty correct. The only thing I would say, I guess he needed the room for the 9th 2-drop, which I really regret, being on only 8 2-drops. I fought with myself back and forth for most of the night before I went to bed, on whether I was going to play 8 or 9 2-drops. And yeah, I really regret being on 8 2-drops. I lost a couple games going first because I didn't have the tempo advantage and only saw a unit turn 2. So the 9th 2-drop, I think, makes a huge difference. In this deck in particular, we don't care too much if we see the mid game because we can just discard them from Scrap Heap or from Traveling Merchant. So I was on 9 2-drops at CCS, and I think that it may have helped a lot with my certain matches. I think when I played Robin in the last round, she didn't see a 2-drop game 1 or game 3, and I did. And I think that might have been why I won, because she was a very good opponent. And it was very unfortunate that she didn't have a 2-drop those games. Gave me a huge advantage. So really should have played 9 2-drops. Anyway, we're not going to talk about what ifs. Let's talk about the deck. So it looks like the 1 Gust in the main is correct for sure. I think moving forward, we want to be on 2 if we have room. If we're going to choose between 3 Void Seeker and 2 Gust, if that's what you're struggling with, I would go with 2 Gust. Every time I saw Gust in my tournament matches, it overperformed. Even going first, it was just another way to save a unit if needed, or just keep tempo advantage when they're moving in on our stuff. On Dreaming Tree, it's insane. Game 2, we want more of these because we can play aggressively with Vi early, and then still save her and draw a card, and then save her for our 6-point swing when we go for the game-winning combo. The one rebuke, I was talking to Sold Out about this. We think that one rebuke is probably like mandatory. I don't think we ever going to cut this because this card overperforms too. Absolutely insane card. He's on the 3 Darius. He did not play any Vayne, which I'm surprised because I was expecting a lot of Mares and a lot of Kaisas. In fact, speaking of Kaisa, other than the match that I lost on stream to Frodan on Leona, which, by the way, that man's a beast. He outplayed the crap out of me. Those stuns are just nasty. Absolutely gross against Vi and our deck in general. Like, we have really no way to walk over their units other than with our Darius Cleave and Vi Ride the Wind. So them having multiple stuns and Hidden Blade just really hurts. But yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised we're not seeing Vayne in here. Yeah, like I said. So I saw 6 Kaisas, so I was happy to see my Vayne every game. 6 Kaisas in a row. Yeah, fun times. 3 Darius. I do think that this is standard. Most people are going to be on 3 Darius, but I like the 1 Vayne 2 Darius personally. Other than that, his list is very, very clean, very standard, other than the Dravens, which from what I've seen on stream, the Dravens were very, very clutch. I think it's I don't know if I'm going to play them at PBG. If I'm on Annie at PBG, I think I'm probably going to avoid them because I just think that it's just like a win more card. If you're at 6 points already, you don't really need it. I'd rather see Fading Memories against Aurora and against Kaisa. I mean, if we're at 6 points, we're winning next turn. They have no way to stop Vi Ride the Wind. I name a better feeling being ahead of more than 2 points against a Kaisa, being at 6 points with Vi Ride the Wind in hand. Can't think of a better feeling than that in the game. So anyway, moving along. Another thing I wanted to point out, he's on the 6-6 split, and that's because he's on 3 total rebuke. I can't help but wonder if that's how he was able to beat some of the tougher matchups like Master Yi. Because that 3rd rebuke is insane, and I really wanted to play 3, but just couldn't bring myself to dropping my rune count to 6-6 split. I prefer the 7-5 split, so I stuck with the 2 rebuke total, 1 main, 1 side. But yeah, congratulations again. The list looks great. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be playing it this weekend at PBG, so study the list if you're competing in there and get ready to deal with Draven. We'll look at my list here. So I ended up going, just to talk about my tournament performance. I ended up going X and 3. Unfortunate, I know, crazy, very sad. I'll kind of explain why, and it's not going to be to make an excuse, but I do believe that, and this is kind of like what I really wanted to talk about, the way the tournament was run. I know they were trying their best, but those 90-minute rounds, sometimes even longer, especially early on the day, were awful. Like, burnout was real. Like, your boy ain't young anymore, all right? Like, I'm 37 years old, you know? Like, my body and my brain cannot handle 14-hour days playing a card game. Like, that was insane. On Friday, I decided to play in the pre-regional just for practice and also to get tickets. I didn't even need the round 1 bye. I already had it from the skirmish, so it was a huge misplay on my part because I had no idea that tournament was going to go until 12:30 at night. It started late. Started at 3:30 because I guess they split up the flights into 2, which I understand. But starting at 2 hours later than it was scheduled, having the rounds go 90+ minutes for whatever reason. I'm guessing it's because of the overtime problem, which we'll talk about shortly. I was burnt out, and I was like committed because I was X and 1, and I, instead of just dropping and going and playing in side events, I was like, screw it. I'll just finish it out, get all the tickets, and then get my medal card tomorrow morning. Well, let's talk about that. So not only did I burn myself out day one playing from being at the event at, I think like we got there at like 8:30, being at the event all day, going till midnight playing cards. I couldn't get any of the metal cards I wanted, and I only really wanted one. I wanted Annie, and that was it. So dates, I thought, oh, you know what? I'll wake up super early on Saturday. I'll show up to the venue. I don't know, like 7:30, an hour-ish before it opens, and stand in line, and get myself a metal Annie because I really wanted one. Well, there was 2 different lines, and probably 50 plus people in front of me by the time I got there. I had stayed up super late the night before, struggling with my deck list because it was super important to me. So I was on like 5 hours of sleep. Stood in line with my friends, and they apparently let a bunch of people in before the competitors and the premium badges, like media people or something, were able to go in, cosplayers, and they were able to get the metal cards before everybody else. And then we got in, and somehow a bunch of people got in front of us to stand in line for the metal cards. By the time I got to the front, everything that I wanted was gone. They had Garen, Darius, Volibear, I think like Lux. In hindsight, I should have grabbed one, but they were 1 per badge at that point. On Friday, they were unlimited, so people were farming them and abusing the prize wall ticket scam thing that people were doing, where they were just spamming free-for-all over and over again, running up to the wall, grabbing one. I know that they fixed this by day 2, but really it should have been, from the beginning, it should have been 1 per badge. Like, let's be honest, like, those things were extremely sought after. They knew that they were going to be the most popular thing on the prize wall, and it was a huge misplay on UVS's part by not only having 35 of each, but having it more than 1 per badge day 1 was crazy. The lottery thing on day 3 was a great idea. Should have been like that from the beginning, to be honest. Fortunately, I didn't get an email, but you know, it is what it is. I still had fun. Anyway, enough about that. Let's move on to the tournament. So after the whole prize wall fiasco thing, I was kind of bummed out. I was kind of sad that I didn't get my metal Annie. I had my Rowan by, so I went and listened to some music and just tried to get myself in the zone. Then I found out round 2 started, and I have a feature match. I'm like, oh great, I'm on stream for round 2, but my first round that I'm playing in, so I'm a little like nervous. I'm like, oh boy, like I got to go on stream. And then I see it's against Frodan, which I was like, wow, like kind of starstruck. Like Frodan, like TFT master, like he's probably going to kill me because he's incredibly smart. And he did. So yeah, I was very nervous when I played on stream. I was very tired. So the combination of those 2 things just really didn't help. That and the fact that my boy had triple rune prison and I think 1 or 2 facebreaker game 1, and then the double hidden blade and multiple stuns game 2 really hurt. Got very close both games, I think, but just couldn't close it out. That last play really hurt when I couldn't. He had the second hidden blade. I was really sad, but well done, well played. He did get the best of Leona, so very happy for him that he was able to get that. I think he deserves it. And I'm not going to talk about any of that nonsense that people are talking about with the drama around that metal card. I don't think that's any of that is true. So yeah, that was the day 1. The rest of the day I won my matches except for the second to last match. I played against someone from Florida that goes to PPG. His tag was Manu, and he was playing a very teched out Kaisa deck, and I am not allowed to say what the tech is, but there was a certain card that was played that I did not see coming, and it threw my math off for my Vi Ride the Wind, and I lost game 2 because of it. and just ended up losing the match because I couldn't see a 2-drop game 3 on Arena's Greatest. Which brings me back to the 9 2-drops. Highly recommend being on 9 2-drops for this deck. After that, I was X2. So going into the last round, I looked at the standings and saw my placement was not looking promising. I think I was like 100 and something. Being X2, seeing that you're in the hundreds, obviously you're not going to top 64. So I ended up playing against another local player from Florida that goes to my actual locals at Guildhall, and his name is Black Sesame, and he pointed out that he would probably be top 64. I think he was like 70 something, and I just knew in my head that there's no way I'm gonna top, so I honestly like threw the game on purpose. Game 2, I won game 1, and then like game 2, I'm looking at my hand and I'm just like, you know what, like, it's hopeless. So I kind of just threw the game. And then game 3, kind of the same thing. And I didn't want to take that from him. So, and I also didn't want to just give it to free, get him for free. Yeah, give it to him for free. I wanted him to earn it, which he did. So, anyway, I do think that I was mentally tapped out by like round 7. And the reason for that is because the rounds were insanely long. They were like 90. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, anybody can back me up on this. They were a minimum of 90 minutes. They were sometimes an hour and 45 minutes, I think, early on in the day. I looked at the clock and it was like -40, -45. And I'm like, is this real life? Like, there's no shot that we're 45 minutes extra, right? I do think that the reason for that was ultimately because of issues with their system. Speaking of which, might be worth looking into topdeck.gg. I've heard great things about it. I've had great experiences with it from other tournaments. Just throwing it out there, right? Yeah. I know they tried their best, but honestly, that was insane. And I think that really contributed to mental and physical burnout. I was just mentally and physically checked out by round 7. I'm surprised I won my round 7, actually. It was very close, and I was able to push through it. But by round 8, I just like couldn't even think straight. And playing Annie, if you've played enough Annie, you know that the lines are crazy in this game, in this deck by mid game. It's almost like chess. It's extremely difficult to play, and if you make one mistake, the game's over. So, like I said, not trying to make excuses, but that did not help at all. And I talked to Colin Kaiser. He is the winner from the CCS 12K. Everybody knows him as the Kaisa Killer on set. He finished with the same record as me, and I was really shocked because, I mean, he's incredibly good at card games. Like, I feel like he's much better than me, personally. And the fact that he finished with the same record as me, and the fact that George G squeaked in at 64th place with how talented he is and how knowledgeable the game he is and how amazing on Kaisa he is, made me feel a little bit better about myself. Because I went from going undefeated at like every local tournament, PPG qualifier, getting second place there, going undefeated at the Summoner Skirmish, getting third place at the CCS 12K, to not even day 2ing at the regional. It was very, very, very disheartening, to say the least. Like, I felt kind of bad, but I think that my mental was just not there. And I talked to the owner of Guildhall. His name is John Acosta, and he's a great dude, by the way. He owns the shop that I do my locals at, and he's got quite a bit of tournament experiences, and he's about the same age as me. So he was able to give me some advice. And anybody who's like me, who's a little older, that plays card games and just loves it as a hobby but wants to be competitive, he suggested bringing a little like backpack or cooler with like just things you like to eat that will keep you energized, like energy drinks, snacks you really love, so that you don't have to leave the venue and so that you can kind of just chill. I think if I had drank more caffeine, a lot more caffeine, like honestly, and ate more protein, I think I might have day two'd. Honestly, I think I would have played better. Maybe not stayed up so late the night before. Maybe not stayed at the venue until 12:30, playing in the pre-regional. Highly recommend not playing in a pre-regional at an event if you plan on day twoing. If it's gonna be anything like it was that time, like if it's gonna be that long, I don't think it's worth a round one buy. I think you're better off just playtesting with your friends, having a good time, getting some good food, and getting some good sleep. Don't be like me and don't burn yourself out. Yeah, that's my final thoughts on the event. I really hope that also in the future that they increase the prize support to top 64. I feel really terrible for Black Sesame and a few other people that didn't make it past top 64. They worked really hard. The undefeated Misfortune, Kid Leo from day one. Very nice guy, by the way. I talked with him a little bit, and he's been really cool on social media. So really like that guy. He's really nice. I heard what happened to him, and it's really sad. He got a game loss for a deck list error. I think he forgot to scratch off confront or something like that. And this is just like an example of like, man, you work so hard day one, and then day two you get unlucky and you lose in top 64, and you go home with nothing. I mean, we can do better than that, right? I mean, come on. Top 64 should be getting something. Promo, packs, something. We can do better than that. I understand they like it to be a little more top heavy for the cash, but I mean, come on, like, we can do better. I'm sure the prize wall issue will be resolved by the next regional. I have faith that they're going to just do the lottery system because it was too nuts, too crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much all my thoughts. If you want to see what I'm probably playing this week in a PBG, this is my list. So we are on no gust in the main deck. I know that sounds crazy, but I wanted to be on 9 2-drops, and there's nothing else I wanted to cut. I really like the Vayne. I really like the 3 Void Seeker. What I might do actually is go down to 1 Fight or Flight and 1 Gust and just side the second Fight or Flight. I don't think it's really that great game one. We don't want to see it early. We're going to see it because of Zon, most likely. Between Zon and Stack Deck and Merchant. And we're going to have so much card advantage that we probably don't even need it anyway. Game 2, we'll have more Gusts in if we're going second, and we'll have the Fight or Flight in if we're going first. I'm going to be on 2 Vayne because there's going to be a bunch of mirrors. Mirrors, Kaisa, and Yi, and Vayne is good in all 3 of those. So, less so Yi, but very good into Mirror and Kaisa. We always keep the 2 Fading Memories in there because of the off chance we're up against an Aurora deck. We should win game 1, but game 2 and game 3 could be a little problematic. My only thoughts are, though, maybe Diwali was onto something with Draven, because this can be sabotaged, and the MF decks are now on 3 Sabotage, and I'm sure the Yi deck will be as well. So, just a thought there. Might switch that to Draven. We'll see. Maybe I'll go to 1. The third Darius is in the side, because game 1 we always see him because it's on, and 3 is clunky. We really only want the third Darius against the Yis and the higher units, higher might units. To Rebuke, Rebuke is a crazy card. It overperforms. I wish I could find room for a second one in the main deck, but we would have to be on a 6-6 split, and like I said earlier, I'm not a big fan of that. So anyway, I will be at PPG this weekend. Hope to see some of you guys there. Comment, let me know your thoughts on your experience at Houston, or if you have any feedback for me on this video. It is my first YouTube video pretty much ever doing something like this. So yeah, thanks for watching if you watched all the way to the end, and hope to catch you at PPG and maybe in the future. Peace.